Okay, so Mamacita's menudo afritada mix. So there was apparently two recipes. One was for menudo and one was for afritada. The afritada one looks as if it's calling for 1.1 pounds of chicken cut, a half cup of cubed potatoes, cubed carrots, bell pepper, and green peas. Whereas menudo is calling for beef and a different assortment of vegetables, but apparently it's the same mix. So like I said, I believe this one had liver in it, which is why I wasn't really a big fan of it, because I had my share of having to eat liver as I grew up, so I think I'm good with that. Okay, now as far as continued Filipino seasoning mixes, Mamacita's barbecue marinade mix. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. It's basically meat and mix, so try it if you like. I'm going to kind of go a little bit faster here. Mamacita's sweet and sour mix, and as I said, different islands have their different entrees and cuisines. This is one, of course my mom wasn't a big fan of cooking, so so mostly people cooked for her. I think she should have bought more of these seasoning mixes, but because she owned a store, we picked up basically everything that all the different islands in the Philippines might utilize. Mamacita's sweet and sour sauce mix. So I'm not sure how many of you know the history of the Philippines, but a lot of the foods incorporate Chinese type of foods, because like for example, my sisters are half Chinese, so you hear the word Filipino Chinese pretty frequently. It's a common ethnic mix in the Philippines. So you're gonna, I didn't actually really even know the sweet and sour sauce mix was an option, but I have seen some entrees prepared with that. I just thought it was Chinese. Mamacita's adobo savory sauce mix. I'm curious, 1 pouch of this, some meat. Okay, generally chicken or pork are what is used in adobo. I don't know if I'm reiterating that again, but it stands reiterating because this is probably the #1 most popular Filipino dish commonly known in the United States. I remember going to school at UW and going to a restaurant, and adobo was, you know, it was like always on special. Everybody knew what it was. In the bigger cities, you know, you just say adobo and everybody knows what it is. I wouldn't use this. I would use the original recipe because it's so easy with the vinegar, soy, bay leaves, salt, pepper, cubed. Potatoes are an option, and then some onion. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something, so everybody has access to Google. Check out what you can find as far as adobo goes. Mamacita's Lumpia Shanghai mix. Yeah, so lumpia is basically a Filipino egg roll. As I was referring to frozen products that I have available here, we do have individually separated, not spring roll, lumpia wrappers, which is basically like the Filipino version of what everybody, when they say egg rolls, like for Filipinos, egg rolls are lumpia. So there's a thicker square kind of wrapper, which is Menlo, which is the brand we carry. And then there's also the round, individually separated lumpia egg roll wrappers, which I sell out of all the time. So if I only go to Seattle every, you know, maybe 3 weeks, so if you want to get some egg roll wrappers, message me on Facebook Messenger under Dana Bates and make sure I have them before you come in, because I pretty much sell out all the time. So the egg roll wrappers, I believe they're priced at $4.50 for the round lumpia egg roll wrappers. Don't quote me, but this mix, I would say, I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't know there was such a thing. You can make lumpia without this mix, so Google and find out how. But this is the lumpiang, I didn't know that was what they called it, lumpiang Shanghai mix. So that might be a different dialect or something. I'm not really sure why it's called lumpiang, because we refer to it as lumpia. So I've never heard it called lumpiang. Mamacita's chop suey pancit canton. Okay, What I know about pancit is a very thin, what is it, a rice flour noodle, Amanda? I think, yeah. Okay, it's a very thin, clear noodle, which I think some packages call vermicelli, or is that different? Okay, it's different. Okay, vermicelli is a little different, but pancit is like the crazy noodles. So we have them in these big bags like this, and they're about $4 something, but they're these really big, I think they're $4 or $4.25. They're these big bags of what I believe, I'm not really sure why we call them all these different things, but bihon, B-I-H-O-N, bihon is either the brand or another translation of the word pancit. So pancit might actually be like the meal, and then the bihon noodles are the crazy clear rice noodles that you put in the pancit. So that is a Filipino, I would say possibly adobo, lumpia, and pancit, which we just called it pancit growing up. Those are probably like the 3 most popular Filipino dishes. That if you're trying to learn how to do Filipino food, might want to give those a try and Google, you know, variations of the recipes. These are just kind of aids. I would say between pancit and lumpia, these are not necessarily. You can do these from scratch, but you know, if you want to, you know, try it out, see how it tastes. Those I don't remember my mom ever using any mixes. Now this is totally different. Like, I don't know of any other way to make. This is called Tamarind Soup mix. So, you know, I'm only half Filipino, so I remember my mom calling this Sinigang. So Sinigang is a traditional Filipino meal that is a sort of soupy or brothy. And this is the only way I ever remember my mom making it. I don't even know if there isn't. I'm sure there is a way to like grab a tamarind and smash it and do it from scratch. I don't know if anybody does that anymore or when they stopped doing that. But if you want to try a really authentic Filipino recipe, this might be number 4. This is like one of the most popular Filipino recipes, most common, and it's Knorr brand, Knorr. This is probably one of the best price brands, which I'm surprised because you can find this in grocery stores too. This you can't find in grocery stores, but you see the Knorr brand everywhere, Knorr. Tamarind soup mixed with other natural flavors. So here down below it says Sinigang sa Sampalok mix. Okay, now Sampalok, I remember that word too growing up, S-A-M-P-A-L-O-K. Maybe that means tamarind, I'm not sure. The ingredients are pretty much like the tamarind. The tamarind is a tree, I believe, or a bush that has the plant that grows down with the seeds. And actually, Craig, would you grab that box right next to you of candy and then put it in front of the camera? And then, like, I don't know if you can zoom out. That is actually, that box of candy is probably one of the closest forms that you can get to what tamarind looks like. So it's a big, there's pods, it kind of like a pea plant, but there's a seed in the middle of all those. And then I'm guessing they de-seed them and they take the flavor of the tamarind. I think a lot of people know what tamarind is. We also have it in blocks, really common in, there's a restaurant that we cater to that orders the tamarind blocks, just like pure straight up tamarind without the seeds in it. And that's also popular in, I think, Indonesian and Thai cuisine. So if you're gonna make tamarind, Sinigang is the only way that I know how to refer to it. But if you're gonna make Sinigang, there is a little bit of information. Pour contents into pouch into a pan with 8 cups of water, stir to dissolve, bring to boil. Add your choice of meat, seafood, and vegetables. Okay, so I don't know, but I will tell you what I remember. Squash, okra, definitely okra. And then this mix could incorporate shrimp. I'm pretty sure my mom only cooked this with shrimp, and it was always the shrimp that had the outer, what is it called, shell, or what is that called, Amanda? The outer shell? Yeah. It had the outer shell on it. So shrimp, this mix, okra, squash, and I I can't really think of any. Green beans, definitely green beans. They can be, you know, cut. And I believe like not potatoes. There would be some other, oh, eggplant. And then double check on onions, because I remember this growing up, and you definitely want to Google some options for vegetables. Hi, Charlie. I think she wants to get through here. Okay, so let's let Charlie get through to the, you want to come through, honey? Come here. Come here. Okay, come on. You want to come to the playroom? Come on. Okay, so, yeah, okay. So Amanda's daughter is going to go back there. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, so I'm almost done with the top shelf. This might be after the top shelf, a good time to take a break in the video. Okay, here's another Mamacita Sinigang Sampalok. It appears to be Mamacitas versus Knorr brand. This Knorr brand is what I remember growing up, I believe, unless Mamacitas changed the color, but I'd say Mamacitas has more authentic seasoning mixes than Knorr, because I think Knorr is like a traditional American brand, but I'm not really sure. So I would probably do the Knorr, but you could try the other one. The next one is something I know nothing about. Oh, it says Filipino.